Hey everyone. I hope everybody's doing okay today. We're going to have a lot of fun on our Lunch and Learn. And welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. We're just getting started. This is the first of a new series of AI Lunch and Learn, and we're going to be touching on a few different things as promised. Certainly, overall structure of communicating with an AI tool, but more importantly, we're going to be focused in on the platform and how to use the actual apps in the platform. I'll just kind of go through what are the most popular apps. And so I'll make sure I touch on those to start. At lunchtime in three different time zones on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we'll be Tuesday at noon in Eastern, noon in Central on Wednesday, noon Pacific time on Thursday. The goal is to get everyone familiar with the platform, to teach you about the different apps that are here. And all of the recordings will be in the AI Lunch and Learn area, so you can go back and catch any that you missed. So I'll be covering different topics, and certainly I will have a Q&A part of it. That's where you can speak in the chat and let me know what it is that you'd like to see talked about, and I'll make sure I do that. I'm going to start with a quick review of the create method. And the primary reason is so that I get this recorded in the AI Lunch and Learn. So we're not going to be doing this every time. This is just today. I'm going to spend a few minutes on the create method so everybody can get familiar with it. And then I'm going to touch on some of the high level apps such as hyperrealistic AI, so text to image creation. We'll touch on the other popular apps in content creation. Then each day we'll cover different popular apps until we nail them all right? So the create method is a foundational tool on how to get the best output from any large language model. And when I say large language model, I'm talking about ChatGPT, I'm talking about Claude, Perplexity. Any generative AI tool is a large language model. So the create method allows you to communicate with it in a very precise manner so you get the best outputs. So let me kind of walk through what that means. You've probably heard of descriptions such as power prompt or super prompt. This is where you set the context so that the AI understands what you want it to do. I make this comment on all of my trainings, whether you're starting with the free version of a large language model like ChatGPT, or you're paying the $20 a month. Essentially, you're inviting experts to the table on any subject. So you can invite Steve Jobs to talk about technology and educate you and have a conversation about his philosophy on technology and kind of show your ideas to the AI and have a back and forth on that. Or if you're thinking about investing in the stock market, you can invite Warren Buffett to that conversation and go through that with him and have him talk about your idea of what you're going to be investing in the stocks today. So, for example, in this scenario here, I might say I want to invite a world famous author on any genre, whether it's, let's say it's science fiction and you want to invite Isaac Asimov to the conversation, or, you're getting ready to create an agreement or a contract. You can invite an attorney to the conversation. You are getting ready to write a journal for your school newspaper. You can invite a journalist. You want to book a trip, you can invite a travel agent. You're doing a new book on the latest exercises, and so you can invite a personal trainer to the conversation. So you set the context of who you want the AI to be in this conversation. You can see the next step is to set the result. So this is where you tell the AI what you want from it. You're going to help me write 5 emails for my marketing campaign. I want you to help me write an outline for a book that I'm writing on the latest diet. The latest keto diet. I want you to help me write 5 headlines for ads that I'm going to do on Meta or Facebook. So you set the precise type of output that you're looking for. I talked about the lawyer coming to the conversation. So let's say I need a contract for the state of Georgia to purchase a commercial building. So you set the result that you want. The next thing is you have to go into detail and explain how you want that output to also be laid out. So is it going to be a detailed explanation, or is it going to be a summary? Is it going to be an outline? Are you going to be comparing and contrasting two different data points? If I have an idea and I want to kind of walk it back and forth and see which one is best, I'll tell the AI, hey, compare this to that, or compare marketing results from quarter one to quarter two, and I want to come up with a new strategy to continue to improve it. You can have it narrate, something that you are creating content for. And so you can set what does that output look like? And so that explanation is very important. The next step is to set the audience. So we want to say, I want this to be business owners. So this content is for business owners. And I always say, no, I'm not. The key here is to set the audience type so that whatever you put that content out, it can be comprehended by that particular group, and the tone matches that particular group. So again, if you're targeting a book to women, targeting a book on relationships to men? Are you writing for a children's book? Most of my content is for entrepreneurs. So again, you pick the correct audience type and let the AI know, or the large language model know, that's who you're targeting. And it's also important to set that tone. Persuasive, it's a sales piece. I wanted to get their attention. Is it engaging? Or is this more serious? I'm writing my thesis for my doctorate. So is it conversational? Is it entertaining, friendly? Is it humorous? And so the emotion behind it is also a key thing for the large language model to understand. And then the final part is once you start the back and forth, you can iterate as many times as you want to. So I always talk about the fact that AI doesn't get tired. It generally speaking knows everything that's available on the internet. There was a couple articles the other day that it's basically read the entire internet. So it's got an infinite amount of knowledge that you can continue to keep asking it. So, okay, that's good, but I want it to be better. I want you to try this or change this. I want you to revise it, rewrite it, summarize it, simplify it. Sometimes AI can give you too much content and you want to cut it down. So these are all parts of that particular process. I want you to help me write an outline for a book about business, summarizing how I can use the BuildBiz platform or any other AI large language model platform to make money. I want it to be inspirational. I want them to get up and go out there and start working. So here's a good power prompt. You are a New York Times bestselling author. Write a chapter by chapter outline for a book summarizing the 5 steps business owners can take to learn AI. So again, key things. Context as author. What do I need? I'm creating an outline for a book. I want this to be summarized. I'm targeting business owners and I want it to be inspirational. It touches on all of these different types of content. Those are the things that you want to include. Let's go ahead and start at the beginning so you can kind of see what happens when you land in the platform. You can see that it gives you these educational explainer videos. It also gives you the replay of one of the last webinars as soon as you log in. So feel free to watch these videos. There's an explainer on how you add a domain, how you use hyper-realistic image app, and we're going to actually touch on this one today. So these are some of the videos that are, have been in here for a little bit, and so we're going to be refreshing all of these videos, and they're also going to end up in the AI Lunch and Learn. As soon as you log in, you'll see the AI Lunch and Learn where you can register. So today you're on the Tuesday track. You can come in and register for the Wednesday track, the Thursday track, add them to your calendar, and so you can never forget them. And then the content will also show up just below here. As I record this one and put it up later tonight, it'll show up here. So you can go back and review these on any particular topic as I cover the different apps. So that's the plan. The second app in here is the AI Sales Coach, and this is the one that's just like ChatGPT. And you can come in here and log in, and it'll speak to you and say, "Hi," just like ChatGPT, and say, "Hey, welcome." And if you noticed, I'm going to go ahead and grab some content to give it based on the prompt that we just reviewed. Let me grab that prompt here. There's a microphone app right here built into it so you can speak, and then you can add a third-party app such as the voice in speech to text dictation. If you're using Chrome, it's just an extension that you can add, and then you can speak to any AI model wherever you happen to be. If you're in the platform, there's two ways you can speak so you don't have to type. It makes the experience a little faster and certainly allows you to cover things. In here, I'm using the AI Sales Coach, which is essentially built on large language models like OpenAI's, ChatGPT's, LLM. But in the platform, we use multiple large language models, and we use whichever one is the best for that particular app. Let's see what it came out with. It said, harnessing AI with BuildBiz.ai for business growth. Fantastic. It gives you the title of the book. It gives you the outline for the chapters as we just asked for. As a human now, you can go in and say, okay, I don't like chapter 4, streamlining operations and enhancing productivity. That's really interesting, but doesn't quite fit what I wanted to do. So let's see, let's change it to a different perspective. Let's change chapter 4 only. Rewrite the outline for chapter 4 for more of a small and medium-sized business entrepreneur's point of view. It changed the chapter 4, totally different name now. And so this is what we're talking about. So streamlining operations for a small, medium business growth with AI. So that's now the chapter 4 outline, right? And now I can go to the next step and say, write the first chapter of the book, make it inspirational in the tone of Gillian Perkins. Now, of course, the first question you may have is, who's Gillian Perkins? Remember, I said you can set the tone to anybody that you want it to be. Gillian Perkins is a YouTuber that I just happen to like the way she communicates. If you're writing a serious book about a particular topic, you can invite that expert to the conversation, and then you can say, use that tone in the content that you are creating, right? Now, the app is creating the chapter that you just asked for, chapter 1, embracing the future of AI. Welcome, visionary entrepreneur, to a new era of possibilities, a world where, and it goes on and on. The point is, the tone of that chapter is in that particular author. The next topic, which is the content creation tools. And we're going to start with the first one, which is hyperrealistic AI images. Hyperrealistic is a text to image generator. And essentially, you can give it any prompt and give it a topic that you would like, and it'll create any kind of image just based from that text to image generation. I'm just looking here for some examples. These are all great examples. So this is one I like to use because it just shows the flexibility of the tool in its simplistic form. So a black woman on her knees praying, use color scheme of red and black. And the reason I was specific about the color of the woman is because as we talk about AI, there's sometimes some bias built into AI tools. And so if you want a more diverse image, you do have to specifically tell it that. Otherwise, it'll default to its creators, the development team's preferences. What we want to do is be precise in some ways, but then give it a lot of freedom to create. And in this particular one, I just gave it a very generic prompt, and you can create just about anything. If you, for example, are creating just an image, you could essentially grab that prompt, go in here, and say, now my color scheme is, let's say, green and blue that I'm creating this particular content for. You can select the size and shape of the image that you would like it to create. If I was going to create something for a Facebook or a Meta ad, I might create a vertical image, 2 by 3 or 9 by 16. If I was creating something more generic, I might use a square. If I'm creating something landscape for my website, like this particular image here, I might go 16 by 9. You can take that prompt and just run it based on any of the dimensions that you see there. What's also nice about this app is that it is trained up on creating images that are emotional because they're going to be used primarily for content for websites, sales funnels, and things like that. You want that image to cause an emotional reaction, for example. Hyperrealistic is really, really good at creating a lot of different kinds of images. For example, I just rebranded the whole platform to have these colorful icons. So, for example, this is a prompt that I used here. And so if I grab that prompt and throw it in, the reason why I'm showing you this is twofold. One, you can be descriptive in your prompt and give it a lot of specific things that you want to do. Again, here I'm setting what that prompt is. Let's do a newspaper icon, right? So and the reason why I'm using icon is I'm telling it I'm designing this for an app icon that I'm going to put on the platform. So if I wanted to create a newspaper icon, for example, the color scheme is vibrant, including the specific colors that I want to use and why I want to use them. So I'm speaking to the AI and telling it what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And then the overall look should be modern and appealing to entrepreneurs. This is my audience. So I'm told it the tone, I told it the who it's for, I told it what I want specifically, right? In as far as the explanation of what I'm looking for. And then I'll tell it that I want it to be a square because it's going to be an icon app, and I tell it to go. You can use it, and the reason why if you look at these apps here, these app icons, I should say here, you can see that they're all along that same color scheme because it is following along with the directions that I give. Now that I have the icon, if I took this icon and used it in an app, what would happen is because of how small these apps are, right? It would be showing a lot of this empty space here. One other feature, so let me show you two things. The first thing you can do is let the app know if it's done a good job, right? So rating system is training up the app. It knows that this style is what I like. It's like, okay, good. I'll keep giving and delivering content in that particular style. I'm training up the AI, the large language model behind this on what I like. Now you have other icons here. If you did not like it, you can immediately just click regenerate and it would create a different version of from the same prompt. Or if you didn't do what you wanted, you could go into the prompt and edit a particular piece of it. One of the interesting things of using any of these apps here is you can immediately download it. And you can download it and again, if you don't know what these different things are, don't worry about it. Just click the first one. PNG is just a type of image format. And again, if you don't know what those are, don't worry about it. Just click one of them, download it. It automatically goes to your download folder, whatever you set as your download folder. It doesn't give you the option to say where you want it to go. It automatically goes into your download folder. Now, why would you want to do that? If you find something that you like, you might as well put it into your folder where you can find it on your computer to use anywhere else. For example, if you're designing a website in the platform, you want to download these images, put them in a folder so that when you go over to the website builder in the platform, all of your images are available for upload. Right now, there's no way to transfer it from one app to another. That's something that they're going to work on. But for right now, if you want to use that image you've just generated somewhere else, you just download it and then re-upload it to wherever you're going to use it. So you can download the image. You can, of course, delete the image. You can share the image version of the platform and send it to Joel or Annette or Dr. Jones, wherever, whoever I want to send it to, I could do that as well. Or I can upscale the image, and that just means I am improving the resolution, essentially making it larger. That if I put it somewhere like on a website, the format of it's clearer, cleaner, but it also makes the file size a little larger. As you do things with websites, you'll learn about when you want to make things bigger to make them look better and when you want to make them smaller so that your website loads faster. There's different ways you can approach it. In this scenario, what I would want to do when I go into the editor, and I'll probably spend a whole nother part of the lesson talking about all the features within the editor itself. That's actually a whole lesson in itself. But you can rotate it. Here's the undo button. You can flip it horizontal, right? You can crop the shape, and cropping just means I'm going to take that particular shape and I'm going to cut out a piece of it, right? I'm going to crop a portion of it. You can crop the boundary. You can go here and start looking at resizing the image, and then you can actually, just like I mentioned, upscaling before. This is a similar function, but you can actually just change the size of the image, right? You can do an AI retouch. You really won't need to do this too often because the AI created the image. So in that scenario, you would have uploaded something and then apply these. That's why I said I'm going to do a whole lesson on the image editor. You can annotate, which means you can go in and add, different shapes on here. You can use eraser. You can go in and draw a rectangle where you can put some information. You can type in text. So if I wanted to add some text here, I could go right here and type in, you know, great image, right? And then you could change the size of this here. It has some basic text imaging, so you can make it bigger. You can do all these types of basic things here. You can add a sticker, a filter, as far as the colors. You can fine tune the colors, and then you can add frames. The reason I came in here is I wanted to scale this. And this is just a tip. Now, instead of seeing the edges and everything like that, if this is done to this size and it's kind of zoomed in, that's the number one thing you're going to have to do if you're creating an icon. Once I say done, now there's two images here. You can see one of two, and this just makes it bigger. And now I'm zoomed in. So when I take this and make it an icon, let me download this so I have it. I can go to any icon here in my editor and upload that now as a image, and it just looks better because it's zoomed in. I'm not going to wander off and go on how to change image icons on this lesson, but that's the reason why you would want to do that. And I wanted to quickly show you the editor. So that's hyper realistic in its simplest form. It's really is easy to do. Can you ask it to write in the style of a particular persona, such as a world famous copywriter? So Joel has a question there. So absolutely, in the AI, in the create method, you can ask it to be anybody. You can pick any writer style that you want and have that particular person come to the table. or even just use their tone, their style. Like a famous marketing person is Dan Kennedy, for example. He's way back in time, but again, it's just happened to name, I happen to know. So when he's the kind of inventor of those eye-catching headlines. If you're creating copy for marketing, you may want to use that particular person. I'm going to grab this prompt here, and I'm going to take it over to the next app in content creation called Scroll Stopping Images. And I'm going to give that same prompt to it. And if you look here, the scroll stopping ads are about creating images with a lot of emotion behind them. So it's not as logical as the hyper-realistic, but it creates images that make you go, hmm. It stops you if it's in a Facebook feed or any other advertising on your website. It just creates more emotion out of the image. That's kind of its big thing. So, for example, I used this in an ad recently. I just liked this image here I created in here. These are tools that I use directly. I had a customer who was an artist and she was creating content for a mural for a church and she just wanted angels and cherubs. Oh, let me do this. Let's go ahead and see what scroll stopping will do with this. Let me make sure I get it in the format that I want. Again, same thing. You can pick the aspect ratio. You can pick whether the background isolation, and if you hover over here, it'll tell you about it. You can have a dark black background for your image. You can have a light white background, or you can pick a color that you choose down below. When you click the advanced options here, it'll give you the ability to fine tune the image even more. Here's what's really cool about this. Normally, if you were writing a prompt for just a generic text generator like DALL-E and ChatGPT or Midjourney or Leonardo, any of the other text to image generators, you would actually have to know the prompt to get it to do all of these types of things. This is why this is a great tool. You'll get the same effect, but you don't have to know how to write complicated prompts. You do want to put in the target audience, again, setting the audience. You set the context, you give it the detail of what kind of image you're looking for, you give it the instructions on that image, then you set the target audience. And then you can go even granular in sense that you don't have to know the coding for each one of these. It's just a click. I can make it an illustration. I can make it a painting like a Mona Lisa. I can make it a drawing like an architect, you know. You can tell it what would you like. I want it to be futuristic, minimalistic, classical. These are all prompt types. And you used to have to know how to describe it to the AI in such detail that you would actually get the look and feel of what you were looking for. And then, of course, here, red, orange, yellow, you can pick the colors. I am going to stick with the blue and green, but I could actually, for people who know, there's hex codes and different coding that you can use very precise colors. Let's say your brand uses a particular color green and you happen to know the hex code for that, you could put that hex code right here in the color. And then you just tell it to go, tell it to create that image. Let's see what it comes up with that direction set compared to what it did with the same prompt in hyper-realistic. So we'll see what it comes back with. I'm kind of curious because they are different LLMs targeting different approaches to the same tool. We'll give it a second here to spin. Again, fantastic image, same color scheme, completely different approach based on the selections that I made down below. But this is why I wanted to show you from a creativity point of view and you wanting to get a particular look and feel, you can really just keep iterating on that same thing here. I went to realistic on this. I could go to minimalistic, again, this is, different styles, right? I can go to modern, I can go to digital artwork, cartoon. Obviously, I'm not going to do that for this particular image, but let's say we just change one piece. It's going to do two things, right? It's going to change just one part of it. Let me go ahead and tell it, hey, great job. But it's also, if you even if you don't change the prompt, here's what's fun about AI. If you give it the exact same prompt, it will try a different approach to that same prompt. You don't have to change it every single time, but you can see completely different. You can also go here and you can describe a particular thing that you want. As you play with the tool more and more, you'll learn which of the settings create the best look and feel that match you. You're training the AI, but the AI is also training you. So you'll create an image and say, okay, that's too muted. I want it to be popping with color, and I'll change a couple of switch settings down below, and I'll get more of what I'm looking for. Let's say I just told it to give me some ideas for entrepreneurs or faith. So faith-based intelligence supporting entrepreneurs or modern. Let's go ahead and let it run. Before I do that though, let's say we want a photograph style, we want modern, we want realistic. Let's see. It gave me 20 ideas for images based on the description of the business or organization that I put in. And it gives me back 20 prompts that I can try to create images. And I can go in now and run that particular prompt. I can then change that prompt. It's a great kind of brainstorming tool. You can just say, hey, try this. Oh, no, that's not quite. And as I was saying before, you can go in and change the color schemes, and you can change it so that you find the right combination of image that pops for you. I would give this a 1, or again, I would just go right back here and just delete it. And that's terrible. I don't like it at all, right? And so you could just delete the whole image. What's missing from this, and this is where the create method can help you, this suggestion is too generic. You have to give it more direction. It's fine for it you to tell it this is what I want, but what image do you actually want, right? So a serene morning with an entrepreneur praying with a laptop nearby, ready for productive day. That is not bad. That is pretty good. Let's go ahead and run that one. This should generate a decent image. That top part of it, while it's setting this is really good. I like that one. That is very good. What's wrong with that image, or what would you want to change with that particular image? You may say, I want to change the ethnicity of the person who is praying, or as we were talking last night, Dr. Jones, uh, if you're saying it's a diverse group and everybody is welcome, then you don't need to change it. I think that is a great image. I love that image. So we'll give that one a thumbs up from the AI. All right. And then we'll tell it this one sucked and we're going to delete this one because it went a little crazy here. And what it was trying to do is it was trying to say a faith-based image, and I was not specific on which faith, number one, but number two, it's just tried to throw a little bit of everything in there. So it just couldn't deal with it. And that's purposeful in the sense that it doesn't want to offend any particular religion. So it just kind of went off on a tangent of trying to be nice or staying within the boundaries, right? So by keeping it, you can say that this is a faith-based organization, but not specify any particular faith. So it depends on the purpose of your image, right? So you can be more purposeful if you want to specify the particular organization that you're part of. All right, so that's a pretty good prompt. I like that one. Christian tech companies supporting. So again, this one is being specific, but you could just say a faith-based organization if you wanted to keep it to be less specific, that kind of thing. So you can kind of go through and see where we're going. So hopefully this is helpful to everybody. Let's move on to AI videos for the next 5 minutes here. So this is an extremely popular tool. We have really played around with a lot of things. Somebody put a domain name or URL that you have either of your own company or of a company that you like, and I'll have it create a video based on that particular company. Here's one I did last night at the Entrepreneurs of Faith meeting. Hold your ears, it's going to be a little loud.
Join the EICC network, a groundbreaking global initiative connecting faith with business to transform the marketplace. Empower yourself as a kingdom entrepreneur, making a profound impact in churches, congregations, and communities. Imagine your business thriving with purpose, backed by a network committed to positive change. The EICC network is now seeking visionary founding members to steer this mission forward. Be part of a movement that's redefining success with integrity, faith, and community at its core. Act now and elevate your business journey by joining a global force for good.
30 seconds. The only information I gave it was this. It went up to this domain name. And so you can put in any domain name and it will go and scrape that particular URL. We got some more suggestions for image. I will definitely try that image. As a matter of fact, I can run different instances of this. So let's go to hyper-realistic, and we'll make it 16 by 9, and we'll tell it to create that one. And all right, here's a URL someone put in the chat. Let's get that. I will grab that while that one is working on it. Oh, that was very quick. It is, the description was very good. Waves, colors, browns, burnt orange, yellow. I think that's really good. We'll tell it, it did a great job. While that, we'll continue to play with that. Let me go in here. AI for Humanity. All right, so in the Create AI Video section, you can give it a website. You can type text in, like if you have a document, you can type some text manually. You can take custom content from somewhere else and bring it in here. You can then go in, is it a hype type of video you're trying to create, sales, story time, let's make this one inspirational, for example. You can also go in, upload your logo. You can put in the language that you'd like to use. It supports quite a few languages. You can decide if it's going to be photorealistic, like hyper-realistic, in other words, or scroll stopping, where it's a little bit more avant-garde. You can decide the voice. Here's Adam.
Welcome to our AI-powered platform. Your creativity is our command.
Adam is the voice you hear all over the internet. You can go select another voice.
Welcome to our AI-powered platform. Your creativity is our command.
I've used Sarah for a few different ads. You can pick the music you like. You can upload your own music, which is great. One of the questions I got last night is, can you use copyrighted material? Of course not. So it's just like anything you put on the internet, if it's protected, you can't use it. But you can upload any music you have that has been cleared or you've created yourself. You can also pick something like ambient, which is a neutral kind of music. You can pick how the transcription effect occurs, the color, the font, the number of slides. 6 slides will get you 30 seconds. So you can decide how long you need your video to be. You can tell if it's going to be portrait, straight up and down, or landscape, going side to side. Those are the key things that you need to set. And then once you have those basic parameters going, you can go ahead and go. The generation is one of 2 tools that uses credits. The other one is AI Movies, and they're both text to video generators. One creates slightly different content. What the AI video app costs is essentially 50 credits, or it'll increase depending on what it is that you're trying to create. When you run out of credits, you can or if you have no credits, you can get them 1,000 for $6.99. $29 will get you 5,000, and so on. So you can purchase the credits as you need them. That's the whole point of this, is that we didn't want to raise the pricing for, reasons of people were overdoing how many free videos they were taking. So we came up with a much easier system where if you use it, you pay for it. If you don't use it, you never pay for it. Therefore, the monthly subscription price doesn't have to change. So you can buy your own credits as you want to use it. Most AI text to image or text to video tools use some form of credit system or coin system. So let's go ahead and create this video. Oh, one of those Star Trek Scotty things where it'll say it might take 7 or 8 minutes. That's kind of like its default setting, but it actually usually takes about half that time. But it does take a few minutes because it's doing quite a few things. First of all, it's going off to the website to scan all of the text and metadata on that site. Then it's generating the images for the video. It is taking the audio, that track that you've selected, adding it to the video. It also is trained on how to create a good story arc for your video based on the type of content that you set up. It said it couldn't scan that site, and the usual reason that it can't is the site is built on something other than just pure HTML. Usually it means that it's a CMS, which means that it is a database. Let's go here. AI for Humanities Solutions. So yeah, all that happened there is we had a typo. Let's get Sarah. I like her voice. I've used her for a few different things, and tell it to go. All right, cool. So Sarah's going on that one. We have the video creating on this one. All right, so we've got two coming up. Let's see what happened with this one here. New Wave Consulting.
Are you looking for a trusted partner to bring your business vision to life? New Wave Consulting Group is your go-to source for expert advice and innovative solutions. Our skilled team is ready to provide personalized strategies tailor-made for your needs. Reach out to us at +123 456 7890 or email us at info@yourbusiness.com for more information. Visit us at our conveniently located office at 123 Main Street, City Name. Contact New Wave Consulting Group today and let us transform your business dreams into reality.
That's hilarious. All right, so what happened there? That is one of the interesting things. If you have it go scrape your website, it can go and get that website, but you have to kind of also, how can I explain this? So it created based on what it could find. Okay. If your phone number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's what it's going to say. So we do want to give it a website that is got data that is good, right? How do you fix it? It's super simple. You would just go to that particular slide. You would fix the phone number if you wanted to read the phone number. And most of these types of things, you don't want to do that. You just say contact us and, give an email address or a website or something. And then the next thing is you can change the image for every particular iteration. Like, for example, this image is a little scary. So I would probably regenerate another image, or you could upload an image, upload a video. But if it does create something you like, just download it and save it before you do the edit. Because if you do the edit again, it could generate a whole different image if you ask it to. You want to grab any images that sometimes they'll create an image that I think is great, but doesn't fit my video. I'll just download that, because you did pay for it, right? You used your 50 credits, so you want to get something out of it. But change the image to this, visit as a convenient. It kind of went to an office shot. Again, this is all B-roll things. So if you have images on your website, you're going to want to upload your own images and things like that to make it. One of the beautiful things about, and this is kind of like a pro tip thing, you might want to just use your own text description or script. So what I would say is, do an interview with the AI sales coach, have it learn about your business, and I'll do that interview lesson next time. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, and you can watch the recording if you can't make it. Do the interview process, let the AI learn about your business, and then have it write a video script. Say, I want a 60 seconds video purposely to do this, right? Create a video sales letter for my business, my product, or my service. So now that it knows about your business, and this is one of the things we teach you in AI training, then you can go and have it create a whole video for you. You copy paste that video into here, including its narration cues, and then this tool, AI tool, will learn from the other AI tool about your business. And then you drop it in here, it'll create a good video foundation, and then you can go in and just edit anything that you want to change. That's kind of like a pro tip. Let the AI write the actual video description for you so that it generates something that's more meaningful than what we just got. This is what I mean by there's so many apps We really just touched on the beginning of it. There's website creator tools in here, sales and marketing tools in here. So there are tons and tons of apps for us to learn. Hopefully everybody got a little something out of this, and I'm looking forward to see you guys. As far as the replay, yeah, the replay will actually be in the platform. So if you go back to AI Lunch and Learn weekly at noon, I'll put that content down here. The replay will be down here right after it. And then the same thing goes for the explainer videos. I will chop it up into individual app pieces. The full replay will be available under the AI Lunch and Learn, and then the explainer video pieces will continue to expand as I go through each app and update them. All right, everyone. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you next Tuesday if you're on the Eastern track at noon, or I'll see you tomorrow if you're going to join the Central Time track or the Pacific Time track on Thursday. Either way, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.